Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Table Talk. I am so excited to be here. You know, sometimes there are some technical difficulties we have to work through, but we have worked through them and we are live now on Table Talk. And I'm so excited to have my special guest here with me today. And I'm going to have her introduce herself and just tell us a little bit about her. And then we're going to get into what we're here to talk about tonight. You know, with Table Talk, we talk about business strategy, entrepreneurship, education, family, and faith. And tonight is no different. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on education. I'm so excited because school's getting ready to start. So this is the perfect time for us to have this conversation. So go ahead, Erica, and introduce yourself to those that are watching tonight.
Well, welcome everyone to Table Talk, and I was having some technical difficulties, so I apologize, but my name is Erica Battle, and I am a local educator here in Nashville. I've been in education about 10 years. I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 3 wonderful boys, native Nashvilleian, grew up here and went through the MNPS school system, so we have a great district.
That is great. One thing I was so excited to hear, because I hardly ever hear it, even when I'm in church, I'm like, where are the Nashville natives? And I'm so glad to be with one tonight and so excited about what's happening in Nashville with our school system and our new superintendent. I really believe we're going to have some great things happening. And what we have to do as a community is to get behind him and champion the work that he's about to take on, because it's a big job, and we all have to play a role in that in our community. And so I want to start off, first I want to focus on your newest project that you just completed, because school is starting, nonprofits are starting up their fall programming. And so I wanted to start off really talking about your new book, Who Are You?
Yes.
Are you? When I looked through this book, I was so excited. You know, I'm a business person, but I started off as an educator and developing programs for young people and adults. And so as I was going through your book and looking at this incredible stuff that you have, it's not just a book to read. It's a manual to walk young people through just social emotional development things. And so I want you to just talk to me a little bit about why you decided to do this book and how did you come up with the name?
Well, the book kind of evolved from an idea. I was asked by a guidance counselor friend of mine to develop some things that kids could do in our after school enrichment program. And so the 4 chapters of the book were the, basis of the things that I wanted them to do. And then it was like, okay, but we don't have activities for it. And I was like, okay, well, I'll find some activities. And it was like, okay, but this is your thing. So the teachers really don't know, what you're wanting. And so it just really went from there. I wasn't planning on writing a book, but, a lot of times my plans are not God's plans. So let me say that. And so he just kind of, it went from me just kind of, trying to give kids something to think about as it related to themselves, to God making me sit down and write this book, because I tried to stop writing that book many of times and he just would not let me. And so it just evolved from there. Yeah.
That is so true when you're working on a project. And just like with my first book, it took me 3 years to complete it. And I tell people this all the time. There's a friend of mine that's an incredible writer, Dr. Fumi Hancock, Princess Fumi Hancock, and she pushed me. So you need people around you that are encouraging you to finish those things that God has already asked you to do. And so I'm so excited because it's going to benefit many young people. And as I was looking through it, I saw opportunities for women's retreats. Girl, I took taking your book. I'm like, yeah, use a young girls retreat, all rich with. Kind of walk us through maybe the first and second chapter, how whether it's a teacher, whether it's a counselor or a youth, leader at a church, how would they use this book?
Well, the book is titled Who Are You? And so really it takes the and it's not even just a child, because a young adult can benefit from this. It takes
Exactly.
a person from where they are now to where they want to be. So they go through a period of self-discovery, self-reflection, to really get to a place of, okay, this is where I want to end up. So the first chapter deals with self-worth. And when they get into it, they talk about truly, who am I? So the very first activity they'll do involves them describing themselves. And then from there, they have to pick, well, who are your role models? And once they decide who their role models are, they have to really think about, well, what attributes do I take from my role models? Who am I allowing to shape my character?
Mm-hmm.
And so from there, we talk about self-worth and friendships, and we talk about self-worth, the internet, social media, and the radio. And so, because I think even young adults and our youth, they don't realize that unconsciously they listen at the things that they hear on the radio, they look at the things that they see on the internet, and then they let those things become them. And so they get kind of engulfed in their environment without even realizing it. And so after, they go through a period of self-reflection, then we go to goal setting, because, a lot of times, with the generation that we have now, because everything is so instantaneous, it's just like, oh, okay, I want to be a doctor. Poof, I'm a doctor. When in reality, that's not how it happens.
Exactly.
You have to set a goal. You have to make a plan, and not only that, you have to enlist others who have worked that plan to get where you want to be, to help you. And so, from there, we talk about character, because even now with the morality, can be kind of low. And, sometimes we don't focus on that character education and make it practical like we should.
Wow.
And those things play into, helping you achieve your goals, because I know character goes a long way. I would be. Goodness. I apologize. I'm on my phone, so I have calls coming in. So
That's okay.
I apologize. But
that's okay.
You have sometimes where we don't focus on our character, but I would rather work with someone with great character than someone with a very bad character, but they have a lot of knowledge. Because, a lot of times you can work with that person with a desirable character. But then from there, the very last thing they'll do is they'll plan a vision for their life. And at the very beginning, they looked at who they were at the moment. And at the very end of this journey, they look at where they want to be. And they truly create that vision board to reflect who they want to be as a person, opposed to who they are right now.
That is so good. A lot of times what we don't have young people do is identify who their role models are and who they're watching and who they're listening to. And letting them say, how is that impacting your life? Is it impacting your life in a positive way? Are these people that you want to be like, or you just like their music, or you just like the beat? And a lot of times when they start digging deep, they realize, oh, I really don't want to go down that road. But a lot of times we don't have them look at those things until it's actually too late, and they're acting like them and they're in trouble. And so that character, and I agree with you, it's very critical for young people and adults. And one of the things that I posted this week was that you may be attracted to someone's charisma, but you have to live with their character. And so that character is huge. I'd rather work with someone or do business with someone with great character, like you said, than just a lot of knowledge and even a lot of money, because sometimes if that character's not right, you end up in stuff that you like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? And so I'm really excited to see, though, that the book is not only giving them some practical things, it's making them work on. A lot of times we're not allowing our young people to think, like having them fill in the blank, but we're not having them think. And this manual and this program, this curriculum is actually walking them through, not only just talking to them about character and about the things that are in the book, but it's allowing them to work through some things and do some practical activities that's going to, after they're finished, is going to be long lasting with them.
Right. Well, remember, I'm an educator first. So I wrote it as an
Exactly.
educator. And so I made sure that every activity, before they started, they had to think about the vocabulary they were going to encounter. You
Yeah.
know, every chapter, every lesson began with the essential question for them to even think about, okay, well, let me get my mind together. What are we going to talk about? And let me start thinking about it. But not only that, they have to read something. They have a shared reading before every lesson, because I felt that was important. And I had someone who had bought the book, you know, and they told me, you know, it's good, but you sure do got us doing a lot of writing. And I said, you know, a lot of times that's a lost art.
Yeah.
Because we have thoughts and we don't necessarily talk about them, but a lot of times we'll get what we're thinking out if we're given the opportunity to write about it. And so, you know.
Exactly. That's good. I'm glad you mentioned that you're an educator first. I remember when I was running a foundation and people would want to come and do dance. They would want to come and do music. And they would get get this look on their face when I start asking them, what is the literacy piece of your program? What is the writing piece? And they were like, we dance. I said, no, we don't just dance here.
Right.
Be writing about dances. They need to be researching about dancers. They need to be reading about dancers, and then they can dance. I'm sorry, I just can't let you just dance. I think dancing is great, but I want you to be able to think, read, and write so that you can start your own dance company.
Exactly.
And I'm glad to hear you say that. And as educators, we have to be thinking that way in order to begin to have our kids be able to compete when they get ready to go to college, to compete with kids across, not just across this country, but across the world, because that's who they're competing with.
Exactly.
One question I have here for you is, what is one thing that you think young people are struggling with? What are you seeing in not just in the education space, just in our community? What are you seeing our young people struggling with?
Honestly, I feel like it's role models, having that solid or that person who is really exuding just a positive influence. Because if you look at the things that they see on the internet and reality TV, and they think that reality TV is really reality, and it's not, it's scripted entertainment.
Exactly.
But you know, they see those things on, you know, the young ladies see exotic dancers, you know, put on this pedestal. And so, you know, they see it as a way to make quick money. And so I really feel like role models, strong, positive role models in our communities are lacking, because what's happening, and this is just my opinion, is they see these things and how they've been, you know, put on this pedestal, and they see it as a way to make quick money, instead of really thinking about, all right, how do I really feel about being that exotic dancer? How do I feel about being a drug selling, you know,
Right.
Glock toting gangster? You know, is that really how I want my life to look? And I don't think they look past what they see. It's kind of like, I only think about what I see in the moment, and I really haven't had the opportunity for anyone to have me think about 5 to 10 years down the line.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. A lot of young people that I mentor and coach right now, when I do the first meeting with them, I ask them, what is your 5-year goal? And they'll be looking at me like, Miss Yolanda, I'm just trying to get through next week. I said, but you have to think further out, because right now, the things that you're working on, is it getting you to where you want to go? And then they were like, oh, okay. So I think we have to, the role models, I think, is very critical. And if we're not reaching back and getting someone and bringing them along, we all had mentors. I know I did. I had mentors. I had teachers, coaches, youth pastors, leaders in the community, other CEOs that coached and trained me. So it's I have to reach back and do the same thing for someone else. And if we're all doing that, then we're going to make a big impact on millennials and younger. And we have to take that on, because someone did it for us.
Right.
As we're talking about mentors, who, when you were growing up, who inspired you? Who kind of pushed you into education, or that person said something to you and you knew that you're gonna make it?
You know what? It's so funny. I kind of fell into education, to be honest. I fell into education when I was laid off as a public relations manager. I was working with a family firm, and I was laid off. And I had to substitute teach because, you know, I had to find a job in the meantime. And what happened was that year I became a substitute. The principal couldn't find anyone that could handle the kids because I was in a rough urban area. And the kids had bragged to me, you know, you're our 5th sub. We've run our 4 subs before you. You're not going to last. Yes. Wow. And it was interesting because my husband and I had just bought our first home, and I told the kids, I said, well, you're not going to run me off because nobody's bigger than Bank of America at this point in time. So
exactly.
I will be back. But what happened was, you know, I told the kids, you know, I want to teach you because I have a child your age, but I can't make you want to learn. Yeah. And so what I would do is I would pull the pocket of kids that wanted to learn. We would get in a small group and we would do our lesson. And the other kids would look like, you're not teaching us. And I would tell them, I can't make you want to learn. You have to want to learn, and I'm not going to talk over you. Well, you know, let's fast forward to the end of the year. By December, well, really by January, the kids realized that she's not going nowhere and she really wants to teach us. And I did a project with those kids, and what I had them do was I brought this is a novice teacher just wanting buy-in from the kids. I wanted them to do an essay, and so what I did was I had them do a her or his story essay. And the essay had to them imagine themselves graduating college. And these were 7th graders. I didn't want them imagining themselves graduating high school, but college. And so to make it even more real for them, I brought in my degree from TSU. And I brought in my cap and gown, and I took a picture of every last one of them holding my degree in my cap and gown.
I love that.
And well, and then what I did was I printed the pictures and I posted them on a piece of long construction paper, and I posted the essay, glued the essay right beside it. And on awards day, instead of giving my best kids, everyone that did the essay and completed it to me, and I was able to mount it with their pictures, they got an award. What I did was I gave it back to them with the picture and the essay mounted on there. And I had them do an oath that they would continue school and graduate high school. And I'm gonna be honest, those kids looked at me and cried and were like, you really loved us. I get emotional every time I tell this story. Yeah. Because, you know, up until that point, they had told me that people had told them they were dumb and that they were nothing, and they were just like, you didn't treat us that way. Even when we were being bad, you still didn't call us those things. You just was like, okay, when you're ready to learn, I'm ready to teach. And that was 10 years ago, and I've been hooked ever since. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. Just tells you that sometimes teachers are not trained, they're born. It's in you to teach. And even though you didn't start out that way, when kids know that you care about them, they were going to come to that they're going to come up to the level that's already in them. And when people believe, like when people encourage us and believe in us, we excel. Students are no different. And we have to really continue to believe that. So I hope there's many more teachers that may not be teaching right now that should be in a classroom. Somebody gonna say, Yolanda, you need to go in a classroom. I taught years ago. I actually taught special ed when I first finished undergrad school. That's why I have such a passion for education, because some of the students even that I had in special ed, when I started testing those kids, some of them were gifted, right? But they were showing out so much in the classroom, no one saw the gifted part of them until I said, I'm not having it in the classroom because there's more in you than what you're showing me right now. And when you push them to go to that next level, they do it.
Yeah, they will. They'll rise up to the level of your expectation.
Exactly.
If you don't expect anything, they're not going to give you anything. But, you know, like I told them, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here because and what's interesting is I had told my mom the one job I would never hold is the job of a teacher because I didn't have the patience. And here I am.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
And I had another question here, but I think we have covered that question. What does being an educator mean to you? You have shared that with me. And I'm so excited. And so on that note, I'm going to move into your reading program that you created. Oh my.
Okay.
When I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness. It's so needed. And I think one of the things we've lost is really teaching children how to read. Sometimes we have programs where we're donating books and we're putting books in the home. And not only children, sometimes parents don't, but if you train parents with your program and the students, they're able to help their kids at home. So talk a little bit about how did you come up with this?
Okay, well, the one that this was actually something that I did in the classroom, and mine was not as fancy. Of course, I hired a graphic artist to make it really nice and pretty, but it's just a little trick where we take Post-it notes and write the symbols on it, and every time we had an activity, we would have I would have the students, whatever the symbol was, if they had a question, they would put the question mark Post-it note on whatever the text is, and to signify that I have a question. And one day, maybe about last year. Yeah, probably about last October, I was doing something and my husband saw it and he was like, "Oh my God, what's that?" And I just kind of explained it to him, and he said, "Well, I need that for my Bible." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "That is such a great idea." And so my biggest supporter and my main advisor is my mom. And so I said, "Well, you know what? I'm gonna take it to my mama and see what she says." And one of the jobs that I've held is the job of a literacy coach. And so it was actually a resource that I would share with my ELA and reading teachers to help them engage their kids in text. And so I showed it to my mom and she said, "Well, you'll never show anyone else until we get a copyright on it."
Exactly. Mom is smart. Thank you, Mom.
And so what she told me to do was to write out everything I did using the Post-it flag. And so I did, and voila, I sent it to my graphic artist, and she made a wonderful program where all the strategies are color coded to a Post-it. And so I've heard people say, "Well, we do that." I've done that before, and you might have, but what this provides every child a systematic way to engage with the text. It provides the teacher a visual. So if I'm, like I said, each strategy is color coded. So I'll just give an example. When we're looking for text-based answers, the only color Post-it you should use is the green. So if I'm a teacher and I have given you text-based questions, and I know as you're reading, you should be, marking your answers, I can skim and scan the room to see how many students are actively reading and engage with me based on how they're marking. But this also, as they're marking, they're not supposed to stop reading. They mark, but they keep reading to help with comprehension, because what happens is I find the answer, I stop reading to start writing the answer, I lose my place, then I got to find my place again, and I've forgotten everything that I've read up until that point. So it's to help with comprehension as well.
Great. That is so good. I think if as educators, you're in with students, and so you're going to see different things that you can create. And I always think about something that's in the Bible, because I'm just a woman of faith and it just comes to me, but it says that he will give us witty inventions. He will give us witty inventions. And I think we need to be like asking for witty inventions for education, for other industries, from the medical field to the engineering field to the education field. And I think we'll start coming up with things that's going to impact. And I think one of the things that's just hit me just this year that I've been focused on, a lot of times we get stuck on where we are. And I'm always thinking about what is next. What is going to be that next thing that's going to help us go to the next level? And I really, truly believe this is one of the things. And I know that you have many more things that God is giving you in reference to the education field. So tell those that are watching how they can get purchase this, how they can have you come to their school and do trainings. Talk to us about how they can contact you.
Well, I do have a website where you can purchase the active reading book, and it's called, and it's kind of long, but it's www.activelyreadingandengaging.com. And on that website, you can purchase the booklet, and you can also purchase the refill posted flags. But you can also contact me there as well. Of course, I have a contact me tab where you can send me an email, and I'd be happy to talk to you, because this is not, and I want people to understand, this is not just a tool for young kids. I have college kids that still have not learned how to properly engage with text. I was asked by one of my friends who's a college professor to contact a local university and the remediation center, because that's one of her complaints. My kids,
Wow.
These are college kids that still cannot comprehend their college text. And she's like, I don't have time to teach them to read. I'm teaching accounting. And so,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that is great that you can adapt it to other ages. And so people reach out. I'm going to put her contact information on my Facebook page with the link to the website. And also we'll put the link to the book on there so that you can pick up a copy and invite her to come to your school and train your staff on how to use the curriculum to really start looking at social and emotional development of kids, and also the reading program. And so, Erica, I'm so glad that you made time to come on Table Talk tonight. And the last two questions that I have for you is, tell me one thing that you would share with a new teacher. School is starting, next week? Some schools have already started. And so we're going to have new teachers coming in, seasoned teachers. So just share one thing that you would share with a new teacher.
Be flexible, because nothing stays the same. And think about your lessons as if you were that child. Don't think about the lesson about what gets you, the teacher, excited. Think about what would get that child excited and get them to engage with you. So that would be my biggest thing.
Great. So what is next for you? What do you have going on that's next for you? I know you've been booking speakings. Anyone watching that knows about national educational conferences and speaking opportunities, she is booking now for remaining of this year.
Yeah.
I just like to promote those that are doing some amazing work out there, because a lot of times people don't even realize that it's happening. And so I want to use this platform at Table Talk to make sure that we're sharing those things so people can know who's out there and who's doing what and who is going to that next level. So what's next for you, Erica?
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for that. Next, I will be presenting at AMLE, the national conference, and this is one of the bigger middle school conferences. And my session is titled "How to Engage the Reluctant Reader," and so I will be presenting there, but I'll also be exhibiting. And then I have about 3 or 4 conferences in October and September that I'll be at, either as an exhibitor or as a presenter. I haven't got my final confirmation yet, but I'm almost certain I'll be presenting at Lee, Tennessee as well.
Okay.
And so I will keep you posted, because I actually have some additional products that will be coming out that are under the RU Actively Reading and Engaging umbrella. So we're developing that into a whole reading product line.
That is great. I love hearing that. You're an entrepreneur. You're an educator, but you are an entrepreneur. So I'm so excited to have you on tonight. And I thank all of those that have joined us. And I know that you have received something that's going to motivate you, whether you're a teacher, a parent, or a community person, that we find that place that we can plug in and make a difference, because Erica Battle is doing that now. And I want to share with you my book, Entrepreneurship is a Mindset, Not a Storefront. It's out, but I have a special offer for those that are watching. On tonight at midnight, I will be posting in my Entrepreneurship Pray and Connect page on Facebook and on my business page, Yes Build. There's going to be a link that's going to be there that's going to allow you to download the book for free. So as many young people and those that anybody, it can be any age, but a lot of young people, make sure that you're sharing that link with them. Go to my yesbuilds.com or Yes Builds on Facebook, or you can go to my personal page and inbox me, and I will make sure that you get the link and begin to share that. It'll be just a couple of hours that it will be free. I'm really trying to do a global launch before I go to South Africa. I'm so excited.
Oh, wow.
South Africa, I'm so excited. But I wanted, a lot of times people are supporting us and giving back and helping us. And this is just one of my ways of just giving back and making sure not just the people in my generation or millennials, but young people have an opportunity to get some information that'll help them decide, do I have an idea, a creative idea, or a business that I want to start? And I think this book will be a great start for them. So it'll be available to download for free starting at midnight. And then it'll go just for a couple of hours. So you have to get it quickly and download it and then share with those that you know will benefit from it.
All right.
Erica, again, thank you for being on Table Talk tonight. And I appreciate you taking time out. And you guys, make sure you go to my Facebook page so you can get the link so you can order the book. Your school can order several of the books for your classrooms.
Yes.
And the reading program. Erica, is that one last thing you'd like to leave everybody with?
Yes, just as Yolanda, I'm following your lead. The first five people to email me from my website, I will send you a reading program for free. The first five people that emails me from my website, just let me know that you saw me on Table Talk and you're wanting the free offer, and I will email you back. And if you're one of the first five, I'll send you a reading program in the mail for free.
That is great. And that's what makes a difference in us doing well, is that when we give back, it automatically comes back to us. So thank you guys for joining us today on Table Talk, where we talk about business strategy, entrepreneurship, family and faith, and education. And we've had a great time talking about education today. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.